Is stress killing you? Is the world around you making you a little gamey? If I was a cannibal and I tasted you, would I like what it tasted like? I know that's a little gross, but I've been thinking a lot about this lately, just lifestyle. A good friend of mine is a big beef guy all over the Midwest, sells particularly hamburger all over the Midwest. And as he's been doing this for years, I get to sample all kinds of stuff, all kinds of different beef, grain-fed, pasture-raised, Wagyu, all this stuff. And there's one thing he made me aware of that I hadn't really been aware of, and then we talked about it, and I started seeing videos pop up, the whole phone listening to you thing. And it's basically the benefit of sort of low impact, low stress raising of beef, imagine old school cowboys herding cattle, getting them all worked up. Imagine packed in feedlots and cattle all getting freaked out as they get put into the butcher's chute to get a bolt in the head. And now imagine cattle that every day they graze, they're free, they're happy. When they got to come in to have something done, they kind of wander in, they go into one of these chutes that makes the process efficient. And their meat tastes better, okay? That the way that their bodies react to stress of all those other environments impacts the meat, makes it more gamey, more acidic. If they're relaxed and their environment is peaceful, okay, their meat is better. We are no different. It's interesting. We had to take my son to the hospital yesterday down in Indianapolis. We live out in the country north of Indianapolis. And you go down there, and one thing you noticed immediately, since we used to live down there 15 years ago, 20 years ago, was there are hospitals everywhere. Like, man, you go to these corridors, hospital, all these stinking sick people, man. And then you walk into this hospital, and everybody looks unhealthy. I say everybody, 90% of the people look unhealthy. Like the men and women are overweight, the kids are overweight. Like, we go into this urologist's office, and the only people coming to see the doctor that look like they had a healthy diet and were the normal weight were my wife, myself, and my son. There was no one else coming in there. Everyone else coming in there, way too big, and didn't really seem to care about it. That's the crazy thing. And then, more than likely, if you don't have the self-discipline with your body physically, you're probably into tech too much. You're probably not going for long walks. You're probably not relaxing. You're probably running from one thing to the next, to school, to this, to that, okay? And your body's stressed. And you're not like that cow that's all chill and all relaxed, okay? And you're going through the nice chute, your meat tastes all good, okay? You're that cow that feels like it's about to get a bolt in the head. You're that cow. The cowboys are wrangling you up and you're all stressed. And that's most people, because having time to drive back from that appointment and thinking about all the people that we saw going to this office, this huge medical complex, most people are that way. Most people, okay? I'd argue a higher percentage of people are stressed than the percentage of cattle. There are probably way more cattle now because they can get more meat for it that are farmed in some kind of humane way. It's still the majority, I'm sure, is the inhumane. But you look at people, how many people really live a healthy, low stress, and low stress doesn't mean you eliminate stress. What it means is you have a life that is built up around living, being able to get good sleep, being able to eat good, healthy meals, being able to go for walks, not being stressed by money or what's happening at school, and the world is exactly the opposite way. And, really think about this. Like, if you allow your life to continually be as stressed and to feel like you're on that hamster cage, like a cow, and if it has that much impact on a cow that doesn't even have really a consciousness like we do, it's not worried about money, it's not worried about dying, it's not worried about getting fat, it's just living, it's just eating. And if a creature like that literally its physical body can be impacted that much simply by how much stress it has at particular moments in its lifetime, what does it do to us? You know, what is stress do to our brain and our muscles and our heart and our blood and our happiness, okay? And if there are farmers that can take care of cows in a way that the stress in their life is decreased and their meat tastes better, surely we can take care of ourselves. And, you know, I want to end on this because it's so heartbreaking. You know what's really heartbreaking? Is you go into a medical facility like that, a really big one, and you see all these kids that are already unhealthy, overweight, don't exercise, on tech. Their parents have doomed them, most of them, to a lifetime of stress and anxiety and unhappiness that they will have no tools to escape from. And those poor kids don't even know their parents are doing it to them. And it ain't society, it's the parents. And you know why the parents do it? Because the parents do it to themselves. They feel guilty. Their kids live the same way. And they treat their children worse than cattle. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to have some amazing job. The beauty of all this is simplicity is cheaper. Slowing down is cheaper. Less fast food is cheaper. Less technology is cheaper. Okay? Focusing on what is important, if you do it right, is doable by anybody. Poorest person in the world can love people. The poorest person in the world can live simply. Okay? I can't afford this, and that. Maybe all I got is a couple of rooms and a bed and a kitchen, and I'm going to go to Aldi's for all my food. And there's some things I can't do, but you know what? My life is simple and I'm happy. And I've met people like that. In fact, some of the happiest, most peaceful people I've ever met in my whole life had nothing. Someone in a prison, a monk at a monastery, somebody poor that their life revolved around the church they live near. Happy as can be, not a worry in the world. Some of them. No, those are not easy environments, but it can be done. So, my sort of word for the day, my admonition for the day, treat yourself. By God, if you have kids, treat your kids better than we treat cattle. I ain't asking too much. Slow down. Focus on what's important. Be willing to look in the mirror. Be humble. Realize what you got to simplify. Make your life better. Get the gaminess out. Get the humanity in. Fuel yourself with love and helping others in quiet moments, the way humans and cows and probably everybody was intended to live. I'm Silouan. Peace.